You're listening to the Rebuilding Sessions with your host, Daphne. The space is for restoration, renewal, and returning to the heart of God. Oh, the time is now to obey God. So before you start your day, let's rebuild God's house His way.
Welcome to Speak Daphne. I'm Daphne, your host. I am a Christian content creator who enjoys inspiring, uplifting, and motivating others on their walk with Christ. Today we will discuss the importance of waiting on God and if you are willing to wait for God or take matters into your own hands. On the morning of December 11, 2023, the Lord dropped the Bible verse 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 9 into my spirit. The scriptures read, "The Lord is not slow in keeping his promise as some understand slowness. Instead, he is patient with you, not wanting anyone to perish, but everyone to come to repentance." You see, God knew I was pondering and worrying, but most importantly, I was tired of waiting. I had been dealing with a particular situation for several years and didn't know if God would do anything about it. It seemed best at the time to take matters into my own hands, and in fleshly moments, I did take matters into my own hands, and of course repented later. I still make mistakes from time to time, but I am learning that being upset with God for not moving on my timeline was not going to make him move any faster. I'm reminded of Esther in the Bible, who was the cousin of Mordecai, and I'm sure she was afraid to some extent when she was removed from the familiar and placed into a palace unknown to her with the man she barely knew, only to be told that she could not even meet her new husband without his consent due to him being a king. However, the worst news of all was when she learned that her people were in danger. You see, Haman had concocted a plan to have all the Jews killed after Mordecai refused to bow down and honor him. Esther had to think, and she had to think fast. She requested that all the Jews go on a 3-day fast, and she even included her maidens to join in. Haman surely thought his elaborate and crafty plan was set in stone. However, behind the scenes, Esther was seeking God for protection and guidance. Esther decided to throw the king 2 parties, and Haman was invited to both parties. And finally, when the time was right, Esther opened up and confessed that she was a Jew, and that Haman's plan was to destroy her and her people. The king became enraged, and Haman's plea for his own life was not going to change the mind of the king, as Haman was placed on the gallows that he had set up for Mordecai. This story alone shows you what happens when you take matters into your own hands, like Haman, or wait on God, like Esther. Before we close out today's podcast, let me leave you with Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1 through 3, which says, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith. For the joy set before him, he endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. Consider him who endured such opposition from sinners, so that you will not grow weary and lose heart." Well, that will be all for today. I appreciate your support, and if you would like to follow me on other social media platforms, I am on YouTube and TikTok.